Welcome back to Intern to Expert. I'm Wild Will, and today we're just going to talk about my personal journey, the past 5 years, what I wish I knew back then, and just basically everything I've learned along the way. Health, mindset, habits, purpose, relationship, things like that. And I think the best way to go about it is to start, my story from 5 years ago. And kind of just give you the results of what happened, let you know what worked and what actually came from it. So thinking back on it, 5 years ago, I was graduating university at this time. I think it was like 8 days from now, I would have been walking across the stage to get my diploma. Unfortunately, that didn't happen due to COVID, so I was actually at home finishing up my degree on a laptop right as soon as the pandemic had really started. It wasn't really conducive for learning. Nobody was really prepared. The professors didn't have good lesson plans, and all the senior activities that I was looking forward to got taken away. And that was really tough at the time. Not to mention the fact that, I just didn't get to see anyone for months on end after that, just like everyone else. And I'm sure everybody remembers how tough those months were. But, I had to make the most of it. So at that time, I was actually looking to get surgery, cosmetic to skin removal, due to the yo-yoing in weight and just having a lot of gynecomastia and stuff that I really couldn't take care of after all those years of, let's call it, pain on the body, stress on the body, not treating it properly and having to make up for the negative ramifications of not having good nutrition and binge eating and whatever else was going on. So, I had right before the surgery, I had a friend reach out and wanted to start hitting the gym with me while things were starting to open up. And I said yes. I was like, let's do it, but let's wait until after the surgery till I'm healed up a little bit. And then we did, and that was the perfect timing. It really felt like it was meant to happen that way. I needed somebody to help me stay consistent and help me form a program and really get me motivated. Just have someone with the accountability. And it was kind of crazy how, just trying to regather oneself after the world just changes completely. How does one go about, a society that all of a sudden changes, and not just changes, all the rules changed as soon as I left school. It's like, oh man, now what? All of a sudden there weren't a lot of jobs, especially in my field, and you just take what you can get at that point, which was fine. I've managed so far. A little bit of odd jobs here and there, and learning a lot of different skill sets that have probably come in handy more often than not, than if I were to have just had a streamlined, normal experience. So I can't necessarily look back negatively on the situations. It's not easy to navigate. Things are always changing, and right recently it's been a lot. It's been a lot of change really, really fast, and it seems like nobody really knows where the world's going, and that is also reflected in people's personal lives. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of those micro habits that develop over time that you can implement to hopefully, I don't know, make things calmer. I mean, the first things first is stop watching the news. I think that is a huge thing. It's not healthy. It's all fear mongering, and who knows if any of it is real anyways. And probably along with that, second is to read. That has been such a great habit to pick up along the way. I would not trade it for anything. Now that I've started to get really into books, there's so much great content, great value, even if you're listening to it. Right, like the intent of learning is there, and there's just, it's just so digestible usually, and there's always going to be an author out there that you can find that really resonates with you. Whatever topic you want, really. Like, I can't even think of a single thing that just hasn't been written about and categorized. With all that being said, I feel like I'm actually jumping ahead a little bit. So I think the most important thing that's really happened since COVID was, just caring more about health, like taking it really seriously, paying attention to anything that I could do to improve my quality of life. It's not a hard thing to do necessarily. I mean, the mental hurdle has to be the biggest, right? There's the resistance of the phone, or any screens for that matter. Doom scrolling, like screen time in general has just shot up, and the amount of like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hours that are just wasted on non-productive like learning, it really sucks. It doesn't even have to be like academia type learning. It just has to be good content, like even music, right? Like positive music is just such an important thing, and listening to positive music daily like just helps your mindset so much. But the physical aspect is a good place to start, and audiobooks and podcasts along with working out at the same time is fantastic. And it is difficult. Like, it's hard to find time. It's hard to do things. I don't know. Soon after, like, maybe... actually, not soon after. Like, 3 years after COVID, maybe. I started doing the 5 a.m. club and waking up at 5, and that was tough. But it allowed me to have, like, this whole extra day, essentially. Like, I was able to get all the hard stuff done as soon as I woke up before I even mentally realized what was happening. And then just cook myself a nice breakfast, wash up and go to work, and have a full day's work, and get home, and I could relax. I could just spend some time outside, spend some time talking to friends and family, and it felt like I was just in a better mood overall. And I think part of that was just like, I stopped procrastinating all the things that I knew were good for me. And then it was like, oh yeah, right, I feel like it's always that simple fix, which is always really funny. People who make it to the other side, right? Like, the grass is always greener. And it does take a long time to overcome a mental barrier, right? You don't see it. It's impossible to see. So how do you know if you're making progress? I guess you don't necessarily. You kind of take it on a day-to-day basis, and you have to be critical and analyze yourself to some degree. And, humans are one's own worst critic most of the time. And I don't know. I don't know what like a good step is, unfortunately. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a therapist. I just, found that doing good things, surrounding myself with good people, trying to maintain an abundance mindset, caring about my health, reading books about habits and leadership and purpose and philosophy, and piecing together like what it means to, I don't know, just be exceptional, and what it takes to become exceptional, what exceptional people have done, and the importance of raising people's level, right? Like asking for the best out of people. And that's not to, be like narcissistic or down-putting or to try to stroke one's own ego. It's like the most important thing you can do in life, and this is according to Beethoven, is to get as close to divinity as possible and then spread those rays to the rest of mankind. And that's a really beautiful thing. Like, there is an importance of keeping a positive mindset, especially when you interact with others. Like, you don't know what they're going to go do in just a positive day, and consistent positive days. And imagine consistent positive days over hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Like, all of a sudden, like, you have an extra million people having a great day. Like, that really adds up. Like, that is on like a global scale, man. Like the antithesis of the American mindset really is just so abundant and so like ideal. I mean it is ideal to have something like that. It would be really cool. It would be an interesting difference in the world, I think. I think that's where, people talk about high trust societies. I mean, they're not necessarily happier societies, but there is like a common ground that it seems that, right, like people might have a better nonverbal understanding of each other. And that's important. It's just feeling comfortable in a space, especially when you're not comfortable with yourself, right? And that's, again, why a physical mindset and taking a physical pathway is important, among many, many other reasons. I mean, ideally, you'll be doing physical and emotional at the same time. Physical growth is emotional growth. There's a lot that you learn when you push yourself to the limit. There's a lot I've seen of people doing intense workouts and crying, and and after that, it's like they're almost like a completely new person. They've just detoxed themselves completely of like, oh man, I can't do this. Oh man, it's so hard. And then you overcome that intense, painful obstacle, and it was only temporary, and you can move forward from it, being able to do more the next time, right? Like, failure is important. Like, you don't want to avoid failure. Every time you work out, you're learning to cope with failure. You're forced to fail at the end of every workout, which is good. It's important. Like, you learn so much more than if you were just to win every single time. Trusting yourself seems to be the first step. I don't think you can really progress anywhere else without that sort of self-confidence and ability to go out and conquer the day, conquer your life. Right, being a good person, being a role model, being a leader, emanating that sort of energy outward, influencing people in a positive direction, bettering the community around you, and having a community mindset. The individual ego mindset is like very power oriented and power driven, and it's usually often about like a lack of control or like fear, and right, fear of anything, anger, fear, like it's all really one emotion. And there's true power like comes from within, from knowing that no matter what, like, you are accepting and one with yourself, that there's like nothing that anyone can do to change that. Right? And the Tao goes as far to say that, like, why are you anxious? Like, the only reason that you are anxious is that you have a physical body. And without a physical body, right, post-mortem, then you have nothing to be scared about. Like, so why are you scared now? Like, people can take away that physical body, and then what? It's not like they can hurt your spirit. It's not like they can hurt your consciousness. And it is sort of calming to think about it that way. It's a little unusual, definitely in a Western perspective. It's like a very, like, strange thing to hear. But so is a lot of the Eastern philosophies, which are really beautiful. Just like every single one of them is just so fascinating. And they're all just so different. But most of them are very practical, very grounded in reality, based on just your feet on the ground, like in the real world. No void, no external, like, metaphysical stuff. Like this is the objective. You are within this, and you have to act as such. And like the samurai and so many other great warriors have really gone through the day-to-day eternal living, right? Like each and every day is an eternity within itself. And to be present at all times, and to practice and train and be on this earth, and just like taking your slice of life is a really good thing to do. It's important to experience and get out there, especially in this ever increasing technological world. And that's part of it, right? Like, man, 5 years ago, AI wasn't even a thing, and it was really just the dawn of it. And now it's just everywhere. And how it's like, oh man, like everything that's happening is just making it so people go outside less and less, are on their screens more and more, are more invested into digital things like crypto, and are just living fully digital and virtual realities. Like, and it's not healthy. Like, there's a lot of really interesting and strange diseases and stuff that are starting to occur, like with having too much screen time and no sun, and like, right, like everybody's getting pale, and those red tech eyes. I don't know, it's just not good. People's health is failing sooner, right? Heart disease and cardiac arrest is, in America, one of the leading causes of death. It's not good. Like, it's so scary, actually, what the norm is, what society considers healthy. And it's not what is actually healthy. Potentially it's what is making just the most money, right? At least for some people. It's not like healthcare companies are out there pushing you to have a healthy diet and making commercials, telling you what foods are bad, and nor are they telling you what the actual ramifications of all these drugs are. Like, you hear some of the side effects, but like, these are not like things to mess around with. These are like real, serious, complex chemicals that you are putting into your body that are fully synthetic, that are, experimental most of the time. And a lot of people get cut checks just to give these things to you. So if you can avoid it, if you can find your natural remedies, and that's, going for a run, lifting weights, taking a cold shower, right? Going for a cold plunge down at the beach, or just a cold bath, a sauna, if you have it. Drinking lots of tea, honey, Right. I mean, it comes down to like balanced diet, good nutrition, and working out. It just sounds so simple to say it, and it is just so much harder to get it all correct and all down. And as humans do, we make every single mistake along the way before we actually figure out what works for us. Like, the only way to dial it in is to do it wrong first, and it is very discouraging. Potentially one of the most discouraging things is to get it wrong over and over and over again. But I suppose that's one of the things one has to learn, right? Is to fall 1,000 times and get up 1,001. It's the only way to be a leader in your own life. You don't want to be a passenger and watch your life go by and not actually accomplish your goals or your purpose. You can't do that by sitting on a computer screen all day, at least not for most people, unless that is your chosen career path and that's what you really want to do. But I think a lot of people would like to go outside, be with family, have successful relationships, right? Develop their character skills, be a good person, serve humanity, like starting nonprofits and doing community service, like giving back when you can, right? And you don't have to when you can't. Like, not everyone can. And that's just the truth. But for those who can, then they should. There's no reason not to. There's no reason not to help others when you have the opportunity. Not when it's easy. Not when you are not in a rush. Even when you are, it's like the thing too is that some people just need a little bit, just a little nudge, and then their life can change forever, right? One accountability buddy right at the start when you are motivated to make a change can change its discipline and change that discipline to self-devotion. And the only way to be selfless is to be selfish. You can't go out and change the world when you are unfit and incapable and unable to handle the stresses of life. How are you going to respond under pressure? If you crack, then everything comes crumbling down. And that's not what anyone wants to see. I think when you are coming up and you have a positive goal, people want to see you succeed, and that should carry you. It should carry you a really far way, actually. The belief in the system itself and the belief in the process, above all other things, is going to drive you further. And that is definitely something I wish I knew a little sooner. Among so many other things. I mean, so much of this that I'm talking about right now is actually just what I am recounting and what I have learned. There's not a whole lot, I guess, right? You don't think about it in the moment. And then looking back, you're like, man, all these little things have really added up, right? 1% every day, even less than 1% every day, right? 5 years is a lot of time. It's a lot of time to change. It feels like just the beginning, right? It's a lot of responsibility to come out and find a new world, right? You're just being introduced to something completely different as soon as you're ready to really start the game. It's tough. It's tough when the rules change. So it's time, at least for me, it feels like it's time to start making my own rules. Not trying to be forced into this system that is only progressively getting more confusing, and more, destructive towards one's own personal life, the call for community and helping my immediate area, right? Tending to the garden that I can reach has started to become more of a goal of mine, I suppose. Like I'm trying to lead up, even if I'm not in a leadership position. I'm trying to be a coach because I think it is helpful, even if I'm not trying to pursue it full time. I think there's a great philosophy within coaching mentality. I think if everybody looked into it and looked at what that actually meant to monitor, or not even monitor, like curate a team to bring out the best and showcase talent, it is really important. There's a lot of prodigies who are not recognized, and when a prodigy is not recognized, you stifle them completely. And all they're looking for is somebody to guide them a little bit, show them something that they're looking for. Show them what you're looking for, like, don't not communicate with them. Like, it's better to just over communicate what you want, but be open enough to allow creativity to flow, right? To extend what one would call smart trust, right? Like, don't just unguided, like, trust them without any backing. Like, that's why you need to be a results-based thinker and a results-based viewer, right? Don't talk the talk. You actually have to walk the walk. And be open to what that is, right? Like, don't close off what you're looking for. Don't tell them to walk a certain direction and then go the other way, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. And I think, that just about wraps up what I can handle for this episode. If you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe. Definitely helps out the algorithm. And, more next time. Probably some book reviews coming up. Maybe some more one-on-one, like, free flow consciousness type stuff. I definitely enjoyed this style, so I can see doing this one again. All right, till next time.